like a necessary evil, kind of what you were mentioning earlier. There were no resources, no training, just mental documentation, and the team is just like putting out fires constantly. By the time I stepped in, the company itself was churning clients left and right. And, with a SaaS company, um, reoccurring revenue is everything, right? Like we need to keep them subscribed and signed up. So we were churning times were weeks long, backlogs were enormous, and the team was burnt out. And you definitely don't want a burnt out support team talking to your clients because that can be support in itself, the role, the job is already can be difficult, right? You have to have a certain temperament, but especially if they're burnt out or they don't feel seen or appreciated. So when I stepped in, the first thing I did was pay the support team more, gave them more money like on day 5. That was the first thing. And before I even took the job, I was like, I need to be able to do this. If I can't do this, it's not going to work. And the reason I did that is because you want them back invested to trust the new strategy you're about to implement. If you have a giant backlog of support tickets or whatever, your team has lost trust and faith in whatever it is that you are about to say. So the first thing I did was invest in them because I'm going to need them to get out of this backlog, right? So we paid them more money, which was like, woo, all right. And with that, I told them my expectation is now I'm going to expect more of you. What we have been doing is no longer going to work. We're going to add some structure. We're going to make some changes. And I need you to be on board with what I call the circle of change, the circle of change. So first thing we did was pay them. And then we started to introduce some new workflows to firstly stop the bleeding is what I like to call it. So plugging the gap on any new tickets resulting in a backlog, right? So we changed the workflows around and fixed some low hanging fruit bugs that were friction for the client and friction for the support team, but was very easy for the product team or engineering to fix. It goes a long way with trust. After that, I implemented a new CRM. I'm a Zendesk fan. I implemented Zendesk for them. We started tracking contact root cause. And then I was able to pass that data back to our product team and establish some KPIs for both the function of support as well as the individual agents, because there was no productivity metrics for the agents. I couldn't tell you if they were doing well, or I couldn't tell you if they were needing to be coached or whatever. So within 3 months, not only did churn drop by like 30%, but we went from a 7% SLA to a 95% SLA. Employee engagement improved about 35%. And employees started to no longer leave. They were not going on. Also, the team had a huge call out problem. So people would call out very frequently, obviously due to burnout. That was reduced as well. And just overall, people were back invested in making sure that the support function was running like a well-oiled machine. So that is an example of what happens when you leave that bucket leaking. Support can be like a leaky bucket if you don't check it early on and include it as a part of your strategy.